Are you ready, dear friends? Get ready to dive into reality. Today, we are diving deep into one of the longest and most complex conflicts in modern history, the conflict between Palestine and Israel. We will explore historical backgrounds, key events, and significant players. Let us get started. The conflict between Palestine and Israel is one of the longest and most complex in modern history. Here is an overview of key events. Late 19th century, the Zionist movement emerged with the goal of establishing a Jewish state in Palestine. 1917, the Balfour Declaration, in which the British government expressed support for the creation of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. 1947, the United Nations proposed a partition plan for Palestine to divide the area into a Jewish and an Arab state. The plan was accepted by the Jewish community but rejected by the Arab states. 1948, the State of Israel was declared on May 14, 1948. This led to the First Arab-Israeli War, resulting in the displacement of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians, an event known as the Nakba, catastrophe. 1967. During the Six-Day War, Israel occupied the West Bank, Gaza Strip, East Jerusalem, and the Golan Heights. These territories remain at the heart of the conflict. 1993. The Oslo Accords were signed, initiating a peace process aimed at achieving a two-state solution. However, subsequent negotiations have repeatedly broken down. 2000s present. Ongoing conflicts, including the Second Intifada, numerous wars in Gaza, and continued settlement expansion in the West Bank, have perpetuated the conflict. The arrest warrant for Netanyahu. On May 20, 2024, the International Criminal Court, ICC, prosecutor announced arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. The charges include war crimes and crimes against humanity, specifically the use of starvation as a method of warfare and deliberate attacks on the civilian population in Gaza. Benjamin Netanyahu, born Benzion Mileikovsky, he later changed his name. He has been a dominant figure in Israeli politics, serving multiple terms as prime minister. Yoav Gallant, Israeli defense minister, involved in the same charges as Netanyahu. Aryeh Deri, born in Morocco, originally named Aryeh Mahlouf Deri, he is the leader of the Shah's party and has served in various ministerial roles. Avigdor Lieberman, born Evet Lvovich Lieberman in Moldova. He has served as defense minister and is the leader of the Yisrael Beitenu party. Naftali Bennett. Born in Israel, Bennett's parents were American immigrants. He served as defense minister and prime minister. TikTok has become a powerful tool for spreading information and mobilizing people globally. Users share real-time videos from conflict zones, helping to expose media biases and manipulations. This grassroots journalism has provided a more accurate and personal view of events, fostering a global community of informed and empathetic individuals. Pro-Palestinian protests have occurred in several countries, including the USA, Germany, France, Bahrain, and Jordan. In the USA, students at universities such as Columbia University have participated in large protests, while in Germany, protest camps in Berlin have been dismantled by the police. In France, a ban on pro-Palestinian protests was imposed and later lifted by the country's highest administrative court. In Bahrain and Jordan, many activists have been arrested and harassed by authorities. Pro-Israeli lobby groups, often referred to as Zionist lobbyists, have significant influence over U.S. policy. Critics argue that this leads to a one-sided policy that often favors Israel at the expense of Palestine. There is an interesting discussion about whether these lobby groups have manipulated the White House to ensure continued support for Israel, thereby enabling their strong position and influence. People around the world have shown support for Palestine through protests and social media campaigns. Many question why their governments remain silent despite the clear opinions of their populations. This silence can be attributed to diplomatic and economic ties with Israel, as well as the influence of pro-Israeli lobby groups. Several countries have recognized Palestine as an independent state in 2024: Spain, Ireland, and Norway. These European countries have recently recognized Palestine, drawing criticism from Israel but joy from Palestinians. Brazil, Argentina, and Chile, various Latin American countries have recognized Palestine in recent decades. India and China, these major Asian powers have also recognized Palestine. The conflict has deeply affected the civilian population in Gaza, especially in Rafah, where ongoing violence and blockades have resulted in numerous civilian casualties. Women, men, and children are innocent victims suffering immensely in this protracted conflict. According to reports, Israeli attacks have caused massive civilian casualties, including many women and children. The United Nations and other international organizations have expressed deep concern about the situation and the urgent need for humanitarian efforts to aid those affected in Rafah. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the history of the Palestine-Israel conflict.
Part 2 coming soon. Experience the untold stories of the Palestine-Israel conflict. Over 37,000 lives lost since October 2023. Yemen disrupts Israeli interests. Iran escalates with missiles. Hezbollah strikes at the border. The humanitarian crisis in Gaza worsens daily. Want to know more? Like and comment for Part 2. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, stay informed and keep exploring.